Hello, hello, and welcome back to Yoga with Carolynne, and happy summer solstice for those of you who are watching this in the Northern Hemisphere. Today's full length, we've got another full length yoga flow, is a celebration of the first day of summer, the longest day of the year. So put on your comfy clothes, roll out your yoga mat, and maybe bring it outside if you're practicing with me outside, and let's get started. Welcome to Yoga with Carolynne, teaching empaths and sensitive souls just like you how to create a collaborative relationship with your body through cozy, accessible yoga and self-care practices in order to live a life filled with less doing and more being. Happy summer solstice! Your yoga practice is such a beautiful way to really pause and sink into the energy of the change of the seasons. So as we transition from spring to summer, summer is a peak, a culmination. It is a time for you to pause and really recognize all of the beautiful things that you have navigated, that you have learned, that you have created within the past 6 months of the year, within the season of winter and the season of spring. And it's also a time to really use that bright energy to follow fun, practice joy, and find bliss, right? Just like doing things because they're fun and it feels good. And it's a time to kind of stop doing the work and just enjoy the beautiful things that you have created. So if you're new to this channel is absolutely about offering practices that are cozy and accessible. So accessible means we use props. So if you have your yoga blocks at home, then I will always encourage you to grab those blocks. And if you don't, you can grab a few heavy books off of the bookshelf and that will work just fine. So we're gonna start today's practice on your back. So please make your way onto your back. Once you make your way onto your back, if you are practicing this class outside or by a window with the sun shining through, say hello to the sun. That fiery energy. So really, we're kind of bouncing off of last week's practice of yoga to celebrate. This practice is an invitation for you to really just relish and savor all the amazingness that is you and that you have navigated and that you have created during the past 6 months. So as you settle into your practice, know that this is your time to uncomplicate, simplify, and just enjoy. Enjoy the simplicity of noticing the sounds around you. Feeling the temperature of the air on your skin. Feel the support of the floor of the earth beneath your body. Sensing into the fact that you are here and that is beautiful in and of itself. As your senses take in all that this very moment has to offer you, has to share with you. Allow your breath to become part of the experience as well. As you watch the breath move in and out of the body. What does your breath feel and sound like today in this moment? What would it feel like if you begun to find a breath that feels a little bit more nourishing, a little bit more supportive, a little bit more expansive than you might typically breathe? Sending your breath into the corners of the torso that the breath hasn't really explored or reached yet today. Enjoy a few more deep breaths just like that. Let's take the next deep breath together. Inhale. This time, open the mouth, let it go with a sigh. Begin to wake up into the body, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Rotate into the wrists and the ankles and sense into that. Finding tiny movements that just begin to wake up the body in a way that just feels good. Stretching from the fingertips all the way down to the toes, the arms come up overhead. And from here, the arms are up overhead and the legs are long. We'll find a side body stretch. So you'll walk the feet over towards the right side of your space. And you'll walk the arms and the head and the shoulders over towards the right side of your space as well. Both shoulders, both glutes, both hips are touching the floor. Find 3 deep breaths into the left side of the body here in Bananasana pose. So this crescent moon shape. Once you have taken those 3 deep breaths, you'll walk the feet back into center, and then the arms, the head, the shoulders come back into center. Pause here. And then walking the feet over towards the left side of your space. And then the arms, the head, the shoulders walk over towards the left side of your space as well. Again, you want everything to still be touching the floor. If your right shoulder or your right glute is coming up off the floor, that means that maybe you don't need to be quite as arched in your shape. Once you've found your shape, 3 deep breaths right here. Once you have found those 3 deep breaths, walking everything back into center. Pause here. You can bring the arms alongside the body again. So again, today's practice is going to be uncomplicated. It's going to be slow, and it's really going to focus on your chance to just enjoy. The summer season is your invitation to just enjoy everything that you have created and that you've navigated, and celebrate that. From here, you'll take an inhale to bring the arms back up overhead, stretching from the fingertips all the way down into the toes. And then on your next exhale, the knees come in towards the chest. The hands are on top of each shin or in the back of your thighs. And from here, begin to find some movement that will feel good. You can rock from side to side, or you can circle into the knees. Checking in with how your low back is feeling, how your hips are feeling here. And then coming back into stillness if you're finding that movement. Both hands will connect with the right leg, so either on the shin or on the back of the right thigh. And then bringing the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Take a second here to pause and notice, would you like to keep that left leg bent or would you like to extend into that left leg? You get to choose here. And then from here, you'll keep the right hand exactly where it is and open up into the left arm. We're going to move here. So really simple movement. Inhale as you open the right knee out towards the side. The exhale brings that right knee back into center. 2 more times like that. Inhale. And exhale. Last time at your own pace. Beautiful. Then we're going to meet with that right knee out towards the side. So open that right knee out. And then you're welcome to stay exactly as you are if stillness is what would feel really good here, or you can find some movement. So that can be some circles, or it can be kind of like a gliding movement where you pull the right knee closer up towards your armpit and then you press it further away. So movement or stillness, I'll give you a few moments here to just explore. If you're finding that movement, please come back into stillness and then back into center. Hug that right knee back in one more time. And then take an inhale to straighten into that right leg and the left leg if it was bent. Arms come up overhead. One more big body stretch here. And then the exhale hugs that left knee in towards the body this time. So choose, would you like to keep the right leg straight or the right leg bent? Keep the left hand where it is on the shin or on the back of the left thigh. Open the right arm out towards the side. And we'll move here. Take an inhale to open that left knee out towards the side. Exhale, that left knee comes back into center. 2 more times at your own pace with your own breath. Once you've explored that 2 times, you'll meet with the left knee back out towards the side. Stillness or movement. The options are with the movement, you can create circles in that left knee, or you can explore that gliding movement, pulling the knee closer up towards the left armpit or further away from that armpit, and then play with that. We tend to do this thing where we try to overcomplicate things. That if you're working hard, if you're pushing through, if you're hustling, then you're doing it right. I truly think that summer is an invitation to kind of challenge that notion. What would happen if you were to actually simplify? If you were to be more instead of do more? If you were to carve out time for more enjoyable pleasure, for things that just feel good. If you're finding any sort of movement, you'll come back into stillness. And then bringing that left knee back in one last time, squeezing that left knee in. And then take an inhale, straighten into both of your legs. The arms come up overhead, nice big body stretch here. You can point the toes, flex the toes, circle into the ankles and the wrists. And then bring the knees back in, hug those legs in. Bringing the hands behind the thighs, behind the knees, and then begin to rock along the length of your spine. Head to hips, head to hips. Really moving into those feet here. Let this be fun. Let it be playful. Once you bring yourself upright, the soles of the feet come onto the floor, onto your yoga mat. And your feet are about hip distance apart, really pressing into all 5 of your toes and the heel. Take an inhale to peel the knees away from each other and you shine the heart forward. The gaze shines up towards the sun. Exhale as you press the shoulder blades wide. You allow the chin to drop in towards the chest. So seated cat-cow here. Inhale as you shine the heart, the belly forward, really spreading the knees wide. Exhale as you spread the shoulder blades, tuck the chin in towards the chest. A few more times just like that. Rocking on the pelvis. And then bringing yourself back into stillness. Really pull the shoulder blades down the back, roll the shoulders back, shine that heart forward. Walk your feet closer towards each other. Hug your inner thighs in towards each other. And then we'll start with bringing the hands behind the thighs and then picking up into one of your feet. Flex that right foot, the toes towards you, the heel towards the front of your space. And then picking up into the left foot, flex into the left foot. If you've come into the shape and right away you feel yourself beginning to collapse back or it just feels like too much, then you can play with lifting one foot and then alternating right and left foot. From here, you can either keep the hands where they are or you can reach the fingertips forward with the palms open towards the sky. Really connect into your center here, pull the belly button in towards the spine. Savasana pose, boat pose. And breathe. I'm right here with you. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale, the soles of the feet come down. Pull the knees away from each other. Shine the heart forward. Release that shape. And then we'll meet in tabletop position, coming onto your hands and onto your knees. Once you make your way into your tabletop position, you'll walk the hands forward slightly. The feet come up off the mat, coming into a low plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale as you bend into the elbows to bring yourself all the way down towards the floor. The tops of the feet come down onto the floor. A little bit of a variation in Cobra. So you're going to bring your hands off of your yoga mat, tenting into the fingertips. Finding a little bit more of like a flow and a really enjoyable heart opener here. You're going to press the tops of the feet into the mat. Take an inhale to press into those tented fingertips to bring yourself up. Softly straighten into the arms. Exhale as you slowly just bring yourself down. Moving like a wave. Inhale, you roll yourself up. The head is the last thing to come up. Exhale as you bring it down. 2 more times like that, moving with your breath, letting that ripple movement just feel good along the length of your spine. You don't have to come quite as far up if your spine is feeling like it needs just a little bit more love and care today. Next time you bring yourself down towards the floor, the hands come back underneath of the shoulders. You press into your hands and your knees, and then you send the hips back towards the heels. Forehead comes down onto the floor or onto a few stacked fists. From here, you'll press yourself back up into your tabletop position and get ready to come into your first downward facing dog. Your blocks are there to come underneath of your hands if you'd like as added support to raise the floor up a little bit. Spreading the fingertips nice and wide, bringing the heel of the palm down onto the lower edge of your block, or the hands are down on the floor. Before you press yourself up, really intentionally spreading into the fingers, pressing into all of your knuckles. Curl the toes under. Straighten the legs to send your hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. Find some movement here. If that feels good, bend into one knee, bend into the other knee. Shake the head to relax the neck. Let yourself arrive. Sense into your whole and entire body here. If you're finding movement, coming back into stillness. And then taking as many steps as you want, as you wish. You'll walk towards the front end of your space. Take your time. There's no rush here. Once you make your way there, finding a position in the feet that feels really supportive, that feels really grounding. So it can be pretty wide. You can have a big softness into the knees. Your blocks might be there to catch yourself, to lift the floor up a little bit. Allow the back of the neck to just soften, the crown of the head to reach down towards the floor. One of the things that might come along with this opportunity to celebrate, enjoy all the things that you've navigated, and really recognize the things that you've navigated during the past 2 seasons of the year is pride. Pride is sometimes an emotion or a sensation that can be maybe a challenging one to really fully feel. What are you proud of? What does it feel like to be proud? If you're finding any sort of movement, you'll come back into stillness. Softness in the knees, press into the feet. Take such a long time here. So slowly rolling up to standing, walk the hands up the front line of your legs just for added support, just because it feels good sometimes to support yourself. Once you make your way upright, the head raises. You roll the shoulders back and the palms of the hands shine towards the front of your space. Tadasana, mountain pose. Once you bring yourself upright, allow your senses to become part of this experience again. What sensation do you feel beneath your feet? Do you feel the support of the earth beneath you? Allow your awareness to travel up along the length of your body, all the way to the top of your head. Do you feel the sky above you? Do you feel your breath, your heartbeat in between the two? Connecting the ground to the sky, connecting you to all of it. You are here. If the eyes are closed, you can keep the eyes closed and just listen to my voice here. Trust in yourself, trust in me as your guide, and trust in the practice. You are more than welcome to open the eyes, however, if you like. From here, take an inhale to reach the fingertips out to either side. The gaze can come up towards the sky as you bring the palms to touch. Softness in the knees as you exhale, widen into the hands again. Lead with the heart. Bring yourself all the way forward and down, back into that forward fold. This time, on the inhale, you'll find your half lift. The hands come onto the shins, onto the thighs, or onto your blocks. Keep the gaze down, tuck the chin in slightly. Exhale as you bring yourself back down into your forward fold. Press into the feet as you reach the fingertips out to either side. Softness in the knees as you bring yourself all the way up. The palms come to touch. And exhale, the hands come back into heart center. Let's explore a few more half sun salutations. Inhale, greet the sun, bring those hands up. Exhale as you dive forward, softness in the knees, leading with the heart, forward fold. Inhale as you find that half lift, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale as you bring yourself forward and down. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach the fingertips out and all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands into heart center. We'll do one more, and I'm just going to lead you with the breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And pause. Let's move a bit more here. Inhale, reach the fingertips out and all the way up. Exhale as you dive forward and down. Inhale, you find your half lift, your flat back. Exhale, you bring yourself back down into your forward fold. If you're using your blocks, they come now on the side of your yoga mat, on either side of your yoga mat. The hands can also come down onto the floor. You bring the weight of the body into your left foot to then step the right foot back behind you. Once you make your way there, the right knee comes down towards the floor. If that's uncomfortable for your knee, fold over the right side of your yoga mat. From here, roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forward. First, start with just finding this shape here. That knee is above the ankle. Feel that support of the floor beneath you as you then get ready to reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders away from the ears and pause here. You can keep the gaze forward. If you would like to shine the heart up towards the sky, towards the sun, you can do that too. Pause here and take just a few deep breaths, really just soaking in this shape. From here, you'll take an inhale to reach the fingertips up. Exhale as you bring those hands down onto the floor. Listen close here. So those hands are on the floor, on the blocks. You curl the right toes under. Just straighten into that right leg, lifting the right knee up away from the floor. You either have your blocks in your hands or you're using the hands on the floor. The left hand comes on the inside of that left foot. You'll begin to walk towards the right side of your space. We're going to meet in a wide-legged forward fold. So adjust the feet here. Back heel comes down. You adjust the left foot now. So now both sets of toes are facing the long edge of your yoga mat. The sides of your feet are parallel to the front and back end of your space. From here, we're going to explore some half sun salutations right here. So you're in your forward fold. Hands are on the blocks or on the floor. Take an inhale, find your half lift, so you straighten into the arms. Exhale as you bring yourself back down into your forward fold. Press into the feet, find some softness in the knees as you inhale, bring yourself all the way up towards the sky. Exhale as you bring the hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips out to either side, reach up with the fingertips. Exhale as you tip the hips back, lead with the heart, bring yourself forward and down. Inhale, find your half lift, your flat back. Exhale, find your forward fold. Press into the feet. Inhale as you reach the fingertips out to either side and all the way up towards the sky. The gaze can come up if that feels good. Exhale, hands come into heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale down, and then pause here. Take 3 deep breaths in this wide-legged forward fold. Once you have taken those 3 deep breaths, if the arms are bent at all, you can straighten back into the arms to create a bit more space for your body to transition back towards the front end of your space. So you walk with the blocks, or you walk just with your hands on the floor towards the front end of your space, and you adjust your feet back into that lunge position. And then from here, you'll step back towards the front end of your space, back into your forward fold. Inhale, find your half lift, your flat back. Exhale, back down into your forward fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach the fingertips out to either side and all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, palms come into heart center, and you pause here. Before we transition into that flow on the other side, allow yourself to just enjoy this moment in between. We do quite a bit of moving from one thing onto the next, onto the next, onto the next, without really and truly allowing ourselves to pause in between, to enjoy what has just happened and to get ready for what is to come. That is what I think summer is inviting you to do. It's a time to enjoy. Enjoy what you've navigated, to get ready for what is to come. To reset, to recalibrate, to enjoy, to celebrate. If the eyes are closed, softly opening up into the eyes, and we'll get ready to come into that flow on the other side. You stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to transition to the other side so that I'm still going to be facing you. From here, take an inhale, reach the fingertips out to either side and all the way up towards the sky. Softness in the knees. As you exhale, lead with the heart, bring yourself forward and down. From here, find your half lift, your flat back. Exhale, bring yourself down using the blocks to the hands on the floor. Weight comes into the right foot to then step the left foot back behind you. Knee comes down onto the floor. Remember that cushioning of the left knee can happen by folding over the left side of your yoga mat. Really support your body. Take up space on your mat here for your body. Before you bring the hands up, take a second here to just find this shape. Roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forward. Find that groundedness in your body. Rooting down into the floor. Then from here, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. You can keep the gaze forward, or you are welcome to allow the heart to shine up, the gaze to shine up towards the sun. Take a few deep breaths right here. The arms positioned in a way as if you're holding the sun in between the palm of your hands. Sensing into that bright, fiery energy. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, the hands come back down onto the floor, onto the blocks. Right hand comes on the inside of that right foot, curling the left toes under to lift that left knee up away from the floor. You're turning towards the left side of your space. So walk your hands towards the left side of your space as you pivot your feet so that your sides of your feet, the outer edges of your feet, are parallel to the front and the back end of your space. From here, take an inhale to find your half lift, straightening into those arms. Exhale as you bring yourself back down into your forward fold. Really press into the feet, find a bit of softness in the knees. Inhale as you reach the fingertips out to either side and all the way up towards the sky. The palms come to touch. The exhale brings the hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips out and all the way up. Exhale, bring yourself down. Inhale, find your half lift or flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach the fingertips out and all the way up. Exhale, hands come into heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Once you make your way into your forward fold, enjoy 3 deep breaths right here. Would the back of your neck benefit from a bit more softness? How about your shoulders or your jaw? Once you have taken those 3 deep breaths, you'll straighten back into the arms to create that space for your body to transition back towards the front end of your mat. Bring your hands, your blocks with you as you bring yourself back into that lunge position. Readjust to the feet. And once you get there, stepping towards the front end of your space back into your forward fold. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, find your forward fold. Move the blocks to one side to bring the hands down onto the floor. And then you step your feet back into a downward facing dog. Once you come into this downward facing dog, sense into if this downward facing dog feels a little bit different than the last one. Noticing if your heels come a little bit closer towards the floor after all those shapes that we've done to lengthen into the back of your legs. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. No need to get too caught up in all of that. Take one more inhale here with me. Open the mouth, let it go with a sigh. And from here, bending into the legs, bringing the knees onto the floor into a wide-legged child's pose. The toes come to touch. You bring yourself down onto the floor. Your blocks can come underneath of your chest and your forehead, or your forehead and your chest can come all the way down towards the floor. Soften and settle here into the ground, into the earth. Your senses become part of the experience again, pulling you back into this moment, back into savoring this moment. Those same deep breaths that you had found at the very beginning of the practice, those breaths that felt a little bit more expansive, more nourishing, more refreshing than you might typically breathe. Can you call back in those breaths? Going to be exploring a side body stretch in this shape. So if you've got those blocks underneath of your body, they can just slide with you over towards the right. You'll press yourself just up enough so that you can bring yourself up away from the floor of those props. And then you'll slide yourself over towards the right end of your space. walking the hands with you. The hands come off of the mat a little bit, really pressing into the left palm of the hand. Inhale into the left side of the body, finding that stretch, that sensation, that space. Exhale as you find heaviness in the left hips, reaching the left hip rather. You only have one left hip. Find a few more deep breaths just like that, breathing into the left side of the body. You'll transition from this shape to bring yourself back into center and then all the way over towards the left side of your space. You can bring your props with you if you've got them or not. Coming now over towards the left side of your space, your hands come off of the mat a little bit on the left side of your yoga mat. And the focus is really on that right hand. So you press into that right hand to find that stretch all the way up along the right arm. Take an inhale to stretch into the right side of the body. And then the exhale allows that right hip to get heavy. A few more deep breaths just like that. And you'll transition from this shape to bring yourself back into center. And then if you're using the blocks, move the blocks to one side. Press yourself up into a tabletop position, releasing that wide-legged shape with the knees. Swing the heels over towards one side, bring the hips down onto the floor, and the legs come in front of you. Scoot your hips into the center of your mat. And then from here, the soles of the feet are on the floor. So same position that we did at the very beginning of the practice. And the hands are onto the shins, onto the knees. Let's explore that seated cat-cow again. Inhale as you peel the knees away from each other. You shine the heart forward, the gaze looks up. Exhale as you tip at the tailbone, spread the shoulder blades wide, tuck the chin in towards the chest. A few more times just like that. Bring yourself back into center. Really press into the feet. Reach the fingertips forward. The palms are facing each other. Roll the shoulders back down the back. Take an inhale here. Really slow exhale as you tip at the tailbone and bring yourself down and down and down. Slowly, controlled. Breathe through the wobbling and the shaking. Bring yourself all the way down. Once you make your way there, you straighten into the legs. Bring the arms up overhead, stretching fingertips away from the toes. Circle into the ankles, circle into the wrists. We'll find one last shape before coming into Savasana. This is going to be a kind of restorative shape, just to be able to really sense into and pause into this moment. So you'll bend into the legs. You'll find diamond shape with the legs. So press into the feet just so you can pick the hips up and lengthen into the low back. And then you'll bring the soles of the feet together, open the knees nice and wide. If you have your blocks or your books, or if you've got cushions nearby, Sometimes it feels really good just to be really comfy with the body, to bring those supports underneath of your knees so you're not having to worry about any sort of really strong sensation in the inner groin. And then I will let you choose here if you'd like to have the hands on the belly, really staying connected to your body, to your breath, to your practice. Or if you'd like to sense into a more expansive, a more surrendering shape, you can allow the arms to come up overhead. They don't have to be straight, they can be kind of like wide in a V shape with the palms open towards the sky. And again, your senses come back into this moment, back into this practice. What sounds do you hear? What do you smell? What does the air feel like that's touching your skin? All of it is part of this moment. And you are part of all of it. To release out of the shape. If the arms are up overhead, bring the hands alongside the body. And then we'll release in the same way. You'll bring the hands underneath the thighs to close the legs back into the center. Start with just pausing there. You can knock the knees in towards each other. And then from here, the knees will come in towards the chest. Hug those knees in nice and close, rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, you'll straighten into the legs to come into your final relaxation, your Savasana. We're going to be here for a few minutes. So take up space on your mat. Allow the shape to be a comfortable one. There's nowhere you have to go. There's nothing you have to do. Nobody is asking you to do anything here. This is your invitation to shift from doing to a place and a time of being. slowly bringing the awareness back into the body. Just by starting to become aware once again of the rise and fall of the body as you inhale and as you exhale. And bringing some tiny movements into the fingers, into the toes, into the wrists and the ankles, and the head rocks from side to side. And take an inhale to stretch the arms up overhead, stretching from fingertips all the way down into the toes. And then the knees come in towards the chest, hugging the knees in nice and close, rocking from side to side. To eventually make your way onto the right side of the body using your right arm as a pillow. Rest here on your side for just a moment, with the eyes closed and the knees in close. Then with such care, you'll press yourself back up into your comfortable seat. The hands resting on the lap or the knees as you sit within this space and that energy that you've cultivated during your practice, and also you sit within this time that you've carved out for yourself to celebrate the change of the seasons and to celebrate all that you've done, all that you do, as you transition into this time of being able to enjoy all those things. Savor and bliss out. And bringing the hands into heart center, pressing the palms together, thumbs are pressing in towards the heart. We'll take one last breath together, you and I. Inhale. Out the mouth, exhale. I honor you for committing to your practice and to your body, and thank you so much for sharing that practice with me. And may the lessons that you learn on the mat enrich your life off of the mat. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me during today's summer solstice yoga practice. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's practice. If you did, I would absolutely appreciate it if you gave the video a big thumbs up, and if you subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And if you enjoyed today's practice and you enjoyed practicing with me, then I just launched the Bliss series, which is a summer yoga series. There are 3 weekly classes to choose from. So those all start the first week of July if you're looking to practice some live stream yoga classes during this summer. All of the details and the registration can be found in the description box below. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you here next time.